We're going to have a little bit of fun with this video here, where I'm going to run through my dream team for 2023-2024. What signings do I want Manchester United to make? We're going to run through every single position, and we're going to run through a sub for every single position as well. As I said, this is a little bit of fun. It might be subject to change. It might not happen. But if we're being realistic within the budget, in terms of how much we... Look, there's no point doing a dream team with Manchester United spending 300 million. That's never going to happen. But if we stick to the budget of somewhere between 100, 150 plus player sales, who can we get in? I'm going to run through every position. You're going to let me know what you think about it, how many positions you disagree with, which is probably going to be the majority. Roll your sleeves up. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And let's get into this one. Now, in goal, we start with a big debate. Now, I personally think that a goalkeeper should be signed this summer. Manchester United might not have the budget for it, so I understand that one. In goal, I personally think I'll go for Diogo Costa, right? With De Gea as the backup. That would be my choice. You can disagree with that, and there will be plenty that do. Now, that one might not fit into this budget, so by the end of the video, I might reverse and go back and say, look, okay, that one's not going to work. And I'll put De Gea in there, and we'll speak about the second choice. But in terms of left back, this one's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Luke Shaw, easy. I don't personally think that Manchester... I think the conversation that you could have, don't know if he's in this list. Let's have a look. No, Alvaro Fernandez isn't there. Where is he? Let's type in Alvaro Fernandez. Alvaro... Oh, he's there. There he is. You could have a conversation around Alvaro Fernandez or Malacia. I personally think that Malacia will keep his spot there. I think he's been a pretty good backup to Luke Shaw this season when he's been playing. But Alvaro Fernandez had a very, very good loan spell at Preston North End. I think he either goes back on loan next year. I don't think he'll just stay in the squad and be a third choice left back. You let me know what you think about that in the comments. But Luke Shaw and Malacia will keep my spots there. Now, left centre back. I can't wait for this bloke to be back. We've missed him badly. And I personally... This one's an interesting one, right? Because I think the first choice centre-backs are very obvious, all right? Varane and Martinez. And I think you're looking at a second choice. By the way, what I will say here, before we go any further in this video, 2 minutes in, there might be players that aren't in this list because I can only do one sub per position. So there might be certain players that you don't see in this team at the end of it. It doesn't mean that they definitely should be sold. It just means you can't really include them. For example, Kobbie Mainoo, I think, should be in here, but he's not going to be a starter for United or one of the subs in these positions. Not just yet. So just clarifying that before everyone gets angry in the comments. The reason I'm saying it's interesting because I think Lindelof could be a backup to Martinez at left back as well. Left centre back. I think I'm leaving that one empty because I think if Martinez is injured, I think it's either going to be Lindelof that steps in or it's going to be Luke Shaw that steps in. I don't think we'll sign another backup to Martinez specifically for that left centre-back role. So I think Ten Hag will feel confident enough that if he needs to, Shaw will step in. And if he needs to, Lindelof will step in. And there's no Harry Maguire there. There's no Tuanzebe there. There's no Phil Jones there. There's no Eric Bailly there. There's no Alex Telles there. There's no Brandon Williams here either. You see how many players we've got to be shipping off this summer? Quite a lot. Now, right back. Again, I know I'm kind of semi-undermining myself when I make myself a hypocrite, sorry, when I say about budgets. If I was to choose a right back who I want United to sign, in terms of how good a player he is, it's Hakimi. And if I'm thinking about who the backup to him should be, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Two very different profiles of players. Hakimi, pretty much the best attacking-minded right. You could argue that Trent Alexander-Arnold is, but he's so crap defending that I just don't think he's part of this conversation. Put him down as a right central midfielder or a right winger, you can talk. Not as a right back. Hakimi, he's a full package in terms of how good he is as a footballer. And I think, that would be just a significant upgrade on Delo. I don't know. I think that's going to happen, right? Who would you choose? Because I think that, I have Wan-Bissaka on the sell list, guaranteed on the sell list. But he just continues to impress and improve. And I think that if Ten Hag's going to change one of his right backs, I think it might be Delo and actually keeping Wan-Bissaka. Just what I think. Now, let's move on to midfield. In terms of the starting midfield, you know full well that Casemiro is going to be there. I would like to see United sign this lad, as the backup to Casemiro. Not the backup, but the alternative to Casemiro. That's what I think. Not everyone's going to agree with that. But I think that's such an opportunistic signing. Young, teenage, won't be wanting to start every week with Manchester United. I mean, he might want to be, but he won't get angry if he doesn't. Learn from Casemiro. I think it's an opportunity United need to take. In terms of the other midfield position, this is the midfielder I would personally like to see United sign. And I would like to see Eriksen being used as an understudy. Now, you might say, Sam, that's not enough ball progression there. I just get this sneaking suspicion and feeling. You know, prior to Casemiro coming in, it was all about Frenkie de Jong. It was all about that ball progressive midfielder. I kind of half think that if we got Caicedo in, all hypothetical, of course, that Casemiro could be tasked with more responsibility of progressing the ball forward, because he's definitely got the quality. He's got far more ball progression quality than I knew he had. And combining him with Caicedo, he could then maybe take up a little bit more of the defensive duties, the screening duties, with Casemiro then kind of dovetailing with Eriksen. Those four as midfield options, Casemiro and Caicedo with Lavia and Eriksen, I think that's, well, I know it's a significant upgrade on our current midfield options. And there's no McTominay here, there's no Fred here, there's no Mainu here. It's not to say that I think we should sell them all, but I'm talking about who I'd have as my starting 11 and who I'd have as the backups. And Fred, you could probably put as a backup maybe for this position here, maybe with Bruno. Maybe that's exactly where you put Fred. Because I don't think we're going to sign a proper number 10. I know that there's going to be people who are saying that Alexis McAllister, the Athletic reporting today that he wants Champions League football. And as long as United do what we should be doing, no one's saying it's done yet, but we're 4 points clear of them with 3 games to go. We should be in top 4 now. If Liverpool don't get top 4, could McAllister come to United? Yeah, probably. But would we have the money to sign Caicedo? To sign him? I don't think we would. Not for the fact that we need a striker too. And I'll move on to that position after this, because this is where it gets interesting, I think so. As I said, this might not be realistic, and maybe I am just completely dreaming here. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite saying I'm trying to stick in budget. Yeah, well, as I said, it's a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of fun. This one on the left, I think this is definitely the case. And it also raises questions, I think, for Jadon Sancho. Because Marcus Rashford, I think, will be our starting left winger next season. However, Alejandro Garnacho is more than knocking on the door at the moment. Has been all season. Now, he's been knocking on the door all season. But he clearly feels that he's ready to start for Manchester United. Ready to start week in, week out. And maybe you can see Rashford down as an alternative to play through the middle, depending on who we sign and who we don't sign. And that could definitely be an option. With Garnacho and Sancho then working on the left wing and Rashford working more as somebody who's fighting with whoever is up front. But Rashford's best position is the left wing. Always has been, always will be. That's a personal opinion. So that's why Sancho's not on that list. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Sancho's handled this summer. Because if you look at the players that we could get money for, I think Sancho, you could probably get more money for Sancho than most of the players that we would sell. That's what I think. Now on the right wing, I think this pretty much writes itself. But again, I might be spectacularly wrong. Oh, is he not on here? There he is. No, that's him. There he is, Amad Diallo. I think Amad has to come into this team. You think I'm wrong? I'm sure you can let me know. I'm sure plenty of you do. There's no Pellistri there. Again, doesn't mean that I think he should be sold, but if Pellistri's not got this, I don't know. Honestly, there must be something going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about, because it seems a bit weird how little opportunity he's got. But Amad's done so well on loan at Sunderland. Hey, let's see what happens in the preseason. Maybe Ten Hag will look at him and go, not quite ready for it yet. Needs to go out on loan again. Maybe he'll say he's definitely ready. Come straight in. But look at that as exciting options. Rashford and Garnacho on the left. Anthony and Amad on the right. Bruno, you might say Fred. Fred, his best role is in that aggressive pressing midfield role. He's a good squad player and will be utilised so next season, I think. So now up front is where the big conversations are. I think I'm swaying towards Kane more than Osimhen. I know that won't be a massively popular opinion with everybody, but First thing you would say is Kane would be a great signing. Osimhen would be a great signing. Simply because you want one of them does not make the other one a bad signing, right? Kane would be guaranteed goals. Just depends whether Spurs would sell to us, how much, all the red flags and all the caveats around it. But I would go Kane. And I would also, I think this is the free signing that United have definitely got to make this summer. Marcus Thuram from Mönchengladbach. He is perfect. Not good enough for Manchester United to bring in and say that's our striker signing. However, if we bring in Kane and Thuram, we create options. We create squad depth. And look at that squad there. As I said, the most unlikely one, well, it's obvious there. The most likely one there that United actually do is we probably don't get a new right back because of funds. And we keep Dalot and we keep Wan-Bissaka and they go to and fro as to who the first choice is. Realistically, I go down here and I say, look, Man United aren't going to be able to afford to sign a new goalkeeper this summer. Not on the levels of the first team, but this, what's his name? Is it Verbruggen? Let's just put him in there. Whether it's Verbruggen, whether it's anybody else, it might just be a young, up-and-coming goalkeeper that has the profile, but it doesn't quite have the experience to go in there yet. What would you think about that? The signings I've got there are Kane, Thuram, Romeo Lavia, and Caicedo. And Verbruggen. So that would be 5 signings. Maybe, again, it's a fun video. This is all subject to change. My opinion may well change. It's just like your opinions. Opinions are allowed to change. But that's what I would go for. You let me know what you think in the comments below. Kane, Lavia, Caicedo. Caicedo would be the one in midfield for me, I think. But then I'm like, what about the ball progression? I don't quite know. Because I think if you sign a new right back that really is like Yuri and Timber. Like, how have I not had a conversation here about Yuri and Timber? I don't know. It's really difficult, this summer, in terms of who exactly we should sign and where we know where the priority is up front with the striker and then with the central midfielder. But past that point, where are you putting your money next? You let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. Take it easy.